Coming to the gearbox, I said it before, we have the single mass flywheel, which beside the increase of revving up characteristics, also means a weight saving of 8 kilograms, so it's a big difference. The car is equipped with a manual gearbox. It's a pure motorsport gearbox, so deriving from motorsport application. And we decided to use this kind of gearbox for two reasons. The first one is weight. So if you compare it, for example, with a PDK, it means a saving of 30 kilograms. So at the end, I have mentioned a lot of things. So if you add up all the weight savings we have done, you really see how we reach this 1,280 kilograms. And the other reason for this choice to not introduce the PDK on this car is that we are deeply convinced that this kind of gearbox really fits the best way to the character of this car, to the GT2RS.
Because most of the drivers, all of the customers buying a car like this want to get involved in driving. They want to have an additional means to control or to connect to the car, which is means by the clutch. You would be very, very hard it's very, very hard to, let's say, put in a decent drift without a clutch, because if you approach a curve, second gear, nobody there, clutch, throttle, buff, easy. On a PDK you have to work around, and it's safe and it's good and it's convenient, but for that kind of applications where there's so much drift challenges going on, and the people just want to do a donut from time to time, we think it's just a more sporty means of changing gear for that special customer that's behind the car. I don't want to bash the PDK here, great drivetrain on a turbo, but for that kind of car we are very convinced that the conservative, conventional way is still the way to go. And it comes with a 30 kilo weight difference, and this is a lot, because the 30 kilo is a lot, no matter where it would be. But in that case, it's in the very back of the car, which we have enough weight already. So we don't want to change the balance between the front and rear weights even more biased to the rear side. So this is maybe the overall explanation for that. Maybe we can come to the suspension here, because suspension is very, very, very crucial for the drivability. The way the car reacts, the information the driver gets to the seat of his pants, to the seat, what the car clearly should communicate what it's going to do next, especially when you're on the racetrack and especially when it's wet. And you've got 600 horsepower on tap on the back wheel, which is kind of scary, but not in this case, for two reasons. First, the suspension, and secondly, the electronic drive aids, which are still already in the car, but you can switch them totally off. In the suspension, we very much looked into the GT3RS versions, the current second generation, and took over all the new developed parts for the GT3RS, but still even invented more, and looking in the technology that we used for the GT3R and the RSR car. So there's lots of magnesium and aluminum parts, whereas where there normally are steel. We have, for the first time on a street legal car, on a production scale like this, we have springs on the rear shock absorbers with helper springs. That means we're using a very, very short mainspring and put some preload on it with a very, very light little helper spring, to make sure that there's traction. There's always enough traction. You can exploit that in situations like on the Nürburgring Nordschleife, when the car is really moving up and down because the surface is not as flat as on a Grand Prix circuit. And this really comes into the equation of drivability and on weight as well, because we're saving about 4 kilos on the rear axle only by changing the springs to a smaller spring and a helper spring, and that's a lot, 4 kilos. If you look at the brakes, for example, we're using aluminum hubs all around the PCCB brakes, which are about 5 kilos lighter for the car than, for example, the versions we use in the turbo or in the normal PCCB equipped standard car. So this as well, purely motorsport development. The wheels are taken over from the GT3RS, from the version with a wider front track. Here as well, 9-inch in the front, 12 in the back. The tire specifications are totally custom for this car. because we found out with the rear tire, which is the same dimension than on the GT3RS, the car doesn't react like we want it to be, because there's about 700 Newton meters on tap instead of 450, and so the tire and the car always just does this, which is a lot of fun, but it's not the fastest way to get the cleanest and best lap time. So the classification or specification of this rear tire for a series of 500 cars, we developed a tire, which is very, very uncommon nowadays. So these are the M3 specification, especially for the GT2RS, and we're very happy with the result. And we had a great partner with Michelin here, who were willing to, for that kind of a project, for only 500 cars, put in a lot of manpower and a lot of effort and engineering competence. On the front end, it's the same. We have a front tire that is the same specification as the GT3RS. So we were happy with the results we could get there. We have the wider front axle for better turn-in speeds, for more grip even, which is, if you compare the 9-inch front axle in comparison to the GT2's 8.5-inch front axle with a 235 tire instead of a 245. So there's almost worlds apart. So you're about 10 to 15% faster through the curve, only because of the width of the front axle. And with the great traction we have from the specially developed rear tires on that car, you're early on in the gas as well. When you're just before apex, you just squat the throttle, and the car hunks down and just accelerates. It's incredible. The traction on this car on the track, I think it is beyond compare. Maybe you read it from your colleagues already who had a chance to drive the car. This is really something that is even impressing the most toughest characters, what this car can do in dry conditions on a racetrack. Aerodynamics is a very, very crucial point as well, because that's when you feel when you're on a racetrack. And in comparison to the GT2, which was the predecessor, it looks very, very similar. But I tell you, this car has a 2.5 times the downforce than a GT2 had. So we're talking about around 140 kilos, that's 300 kilometers per hour, which is a lot. If you consider that normally a car, when it goes 300 kilometers an hour, has a lift of at least 100 to 150 kilos. So there's a 300 kilos difference, and this is very, very, very comforting when you're on a racetrack with very fast curves. So the aerodynamics play a big role there. Absolutely. We achieved this by first the stance of the car. We have a little bit more pitch in the car, and it's a little bit lower on the ground, so we prevent air from coming underneath the car, lifting it up. And this little gurney flap that you can see here on the spoiler has a hook here, which contributes greatly to downforce. Even if it's looking almost the same as on the GT2 part, it's a very big difference in function. And the front spoiler lift, as a matter of fact, is another contributor to keep the car in balance and to create this overall downforce of about 145 to about 143 kilos. Jörg.
Some other aspects, just to continue my list of saving weight, the car can be equipped with a special battery, which is a lithium-ion battery, and hopefully you see it here. In the interior, if you want to continue saving weight, of course, if you're a little bit crazy in a positive way, you can, of course, not order the air condition and, for example, not use the audio system, and more or less 17 kilograms for renouncing the air condition, and about 7 kilograms for the audio system. The seats, the lightweight bucket seats, that is deriving from the Carrera GT, and which have a weight about 10 kilograms, so very much lighter compared to the bucket with a foldable back you have on the GT2.
I mean, 10 kilos. 10 kilos is with the bucket and with the seat rails. It's a complete seat, because the shell alone is only 4 point something. I think this is the lightest seat available worldwide on a standard production car. Even the race seats that are used in the Cup car are only a few 100 grams lighter than this one. So these are really, really very, very sophisticated seats, and for me the best seats ever, because Getting in and out may be a little bit of a hassle, but as soon as you sit, you're in heaven. You can drive like for 10 hours without getting any aches to the back, and you're just linked to the car. You have so many sensors that the car can communicate really very, very intensively with the seats, because you're not only sitting on the car, you're sitting deep in the car, which is a great contribution to feeling secure in the car and being fast.
Who's the supplier?
Recaro.
Can they be customized if you're a heavier user?
For the US market, we offer the foldable seats that are a little bit wider, but they can't be customized, this seat, no. So
this is one.
The driver should customize himself.
So this is one size fits small.
Yeah, but to be honest, we're using this seat since the Carrera GT, and no matter what kind of body the engineer has that drives the car, me, long and tall and thin, perfect. A colleague of mine is like 1.70 m and a little bit chummy, perfect. So there's a lot of variety of people feeling very well in that seat. I mean, if you come to somebody really like 150 kilos, sorry, the carpentry, for example, may look completely the same in every other Carrera. It's not, because the backside, whereas normally this foamy, cushiony, dampening material, it's all away. So we were able to get about 2 kilos just alone out of the carpets, which we stripped down manually at our supplier for the RS cars. So we're really looking for every gram. As you can see on the badge on the hood, it's not the one that we use on all the other cars. It's exactly the one we use on this car, because it's the same part number. So
the badge has a part number. The sticker has a part number.
The sticker has a part number.
And how much did you save in the badge in weight?
I don't know. This is just something to underline and to stress out that we're really looking into every very detail. And but we found out that despite of this badge looking not as quality-wise, not as good as on a normal Boxster, it still is something exclusive, because it's only for the GT cars. Only the race cars bear that badge. But I tell you, we have internally a lot of struggle because of this badge. This is kind of funny, but it's still on it.